Okay, we referenced it last video, but I'll give it to the Raiders right now. Derek Carr is expected to miss the next 2 weeks with a significant groin injury. He suffered this injury in the first quarter of their loss to the Los Angeles Chargers yesterday. He was kind of running away from pressure, and as he was running away from it, you could see him like kind of like start like it looked similar to I'm trying RG3 against the Steelers. If you watched RG3 against the Steelers, his injury, it wasn't too severe, but it looked the same way. He kind of did like that hop and he stepped out of bounds because he had to take the sack. He's not going to run with an injured groin, you know? But it happened in the first quarter when he was running away from pressure and he stepped out of bounds in the sideline. He ended up going back to the locker room. He is expected to be sidelined for 10 to 14 days. And this is causing his status to be in doubt next Saturday against the Miami Dolphins. This was written by Adam Maya and reported by Ian Rappaport. So Nate, I'll go to you first. What do you think about Derek Carr's injury?
Oh, first of all, best of luck to him. Hope he gets better. Like we were saying in the last video, man. Next, and like we say all the time, next man up, and that next man up is Marcus Mariota, and he showed some light and promise. I mean, I'll be honest, Marcus Mariota isn't a bad quarterback, despite his last year in Tennessee. It really wasn't as good as everybody says it was. I still think he's a good quarterback nonetheless. But I mean, these next few games, like we always say, next man up. He's gonna have to show up. He's gonna have to survive. And like you said in the last video, if Marcus Mariota continues to play like this, these next two games, you know, I won't be worried, or Raiders fans won't be worried, or whatever. So I mean, Derek Carr has been balling out, and he's been doing it, and he's been doing a good job. Well, if Marcus Mariota doesn't play like he was last night, then yeah, that's going to be a big worry. But if he does, and I don't think it's going to be a big deal. So it can go both ways in this situation. But you got to give it some time. If the Raiders make the playoffs, he's probably going to make his next appearance then. But if not, then that could have probably marked the end of his season.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when he was with the Titans, like his rookie year and his second year, it seemed like they had something that was very promising. It didn't turn out that way, not to his fault, because you remember he did have a lot of injuries, Marcus Mariota.
Yeah,
Marcus
yeah,
Mariota suffered a lot of injuries with the Titans. In that last injury, they just so happened to have Ryan Tannehill, and we were thinking Ryan Tannehill is never going to play in the NFL again. Like he's just going to be a backup for the rest of his life, knowing that the Titans were going to make Marcus Mariota a starter. If you remember, he did make a couple playoff appearances or at least one, but we always thought that when Tannehill was backing up Mariota, we thought Tannehill's career for the rest of his career was just going to be a backup. And then when Mariota got hurt and Tannehill came in and really started balling the way he did, it's just hard to refuse Ryan Tannehill. You know, he played
right.
such a great. He just did so much for them, and so that caused last year, which that caused the Titans to move on from Mariota, and the Raiders ended up picking him up. But I never really thought Mariota was like a bad quarterback. You know,
Either.
like don't get me wrong, I'll be the first one to say it. I really thought when I saw that when he first got drafted, it was him and Winston. I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I really thought Winston was gonna be the benefiter of this. I didn't think it was gonna be Mariota, but I was clearly wrong, and I'll be willing to admit that I was wrong because if you look now, Mariota is gonna get a chance to show and prove that he is still that first year, second year guy. Um, I wouldn't be concerned. Like that's what I'm saying. If he plays the way he has been, I wouldn't be concerned about his playing style. Although I forgot to say this game. What I am concerned about is if he can go these last few games or even the playoff games, if he had however long he goes to the playoffs, if they make the playoffs, I'm concerned about how his health is gonna be throughout these next games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
right.
I hate to say it, but Mariota is an injury prone player.
Right,
You
right.
know, it's unfortunate, but it's true. I mean, it's unfortunate that the top two quarterbacks or the top two picks in that draft are backups now. You know, it's unfortunate to see. Like, I mean, I wanted Jameis Winston to be a very good player. You know what I'm saying? I wanted Marcus Mariota to be the stud that he was those first 2 years in Tennessee, but it just didn't get to that. You know, it just for some reason it just didn't get to that. And I mean, not to it's not on Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, he just got injuries that he couldn't avoid, and it was just bad luck for Marcus Mariota. But now he has a second chance to kind of revive his career. You know, he won't be on the Raiders next year, but another team might take him. You get what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Again, we got Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is playing at an elite level, but who knows if he's going to be here next year, you know?
Yeah,
Drew Brees playing at an elite level, but who knows if this is Drew Brees' last year? You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady only signed a 1 year contract. Who knows if this is going to be his last year? So the Jets, hell, I mean, even the Jets, if they even want to pick up Marcus Mariota and do like the thing that the Dolphins did, which is start Mariota for like as over Tua. But I mean, well, let me go back. Let me rephrase what I was saying. So the Dolphins, when they drafted Tua, they had Ryan Fitzpatrick and they started him for like the first 9 weeks. If the Jets want to do that with Trevor, if they get Trevor, if they want to do that, they could. I mean, I don't think they're gonna be honestly, I don't think they're gonna get him because they do have Darnold. But I mean, it's complicated right now, but if Marcus Mariota shows that he can still play at that elite level that we were used to him seeing him play at his first and second season, then he could revive his career and start for a brand new team.
absolutely. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think this will be a good fit for the Raiders. I think the Raiders sign him for another year. It depends on how he plays these next 2 games. And if they make the playoffs, we should see. But like as of right now, keep it simple. He's just gotta survive. He's gotta do his job. I mean, he's seen to show flashes of that last game. So hopefully he does it in these next 2 games. He steps up and he does his thing.
Right.
Another
But
thing he's
going
gotta do is be clutch too, because that last drive, he wasn't really clutch, and he needed to
right. I
step
mean,
up.
but again, going back, well, first I'll address that. See, again, the interception, it was a good throw. It was just a better defensive play.
Yeah,
Sometimes better defense beats better offense, good offense. But again, this is a Derek Carr topic, and then you wonder what this means for Derek Carr because I believe Derek Carr is another injury prone player in this league. I really do believe it. He had like because you Derek Carr be unlucky too. He'd be getting unlucky too. I mean, I think he had like a torn ACL a long time ago, a few seasons ago. He suffered some injuries, and who knows? I mean, this is just a groin injury. Like it is a significant groin injury, but it's just a groin injury. But Derek Carr, I mean, if anybody's supposed to be nervous, in my opinion, I feel like it's Derek Carr. I really do. And Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I hate to say it, Nate, but I think because his draft too was supposed to be a quarterback loaded class. I remember it was him, Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater. Um, there was more. God, there was a couple more. I feel like. Paxton Lynch was part of that, I believe, and there was somebody else. I can't remember who it was, but it looked like Derek Carr became the better quarterback out of that draft. It's between him and Bridgewater, but I really do think it's Derek Carr. So, but Derek Carr just keeps getting hurt, man.
yeah,
He's just an injury prone player, in my opinion. And so the Raiders really going to start asking questions. How long do we really want to keep Derek Carr? Is it worth keeping him if he's going to keep taking these injuries? And again, it's not his fault. It's not Derek Carr's. Bless you.
thank you.
It's not Derek Carr's fault. Like I mean, but eventually you got to ask that question, you know?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, again, I'm wishing Derek Carr all the best of luck, man. You hate to see a player get hurt, no matter what injury it is. I'm wishing him all the best of luck. Marcus Mariota, I'm wishing
As
him
am
the
I.
best of luck too. The Raiders, I wish them the best of luck in making the playoffs, and we'll see what happens.